How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was the market conditions while you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. What kind of street do ghosts haunt? Dead ends. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN giving us another green day inside of the market. I swear OCGN has been crushing it. There's been a lot of volatility. We know we have the Fed meeting that went down and started today. It's going to be going into tomorrow as well, but we're seeing some continued strength. The FOMO, the anticipation is giving us the price action we are looking for. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, and what are some key levels we want to look out for if we end up having a pullback or making that strong move to the upside. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. The reason why it's important to know about the short interest because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the institutional side and as well as on the retail side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $15.67, being up 12.09%. On the low, it tested $11.85, and then on the high, it ended up testing $16.28. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 178.062 million shares, and then for the average volume over 10 trading days being at 74.878 million shares. So what you can notice right away, we ended up having well above the average in volume, and when this happens, we tend to see a lot of strength in OCGN. Now, when we use our chart, which is the 1 year daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 84.40. So yes, we are in the overbought territory, and you can see clearly from this uptrend that we've been on. When we take a look at the moving averages now, we have strength above the 100-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So what ended up happening today, we saw a lot of volatility. We ended up testing $11.85 on the low, but the great thing about it was we were able to actually fill in this gap right here. Also, when we take into consideration what we had on the high at 16.28, what I'd want to look forward to going into tomorrow is getting past this level and then testing the $18 range, saying $18.77 to be exact. Because you can see before when we had a run up, we ended up getting to the $16 level as well. So this area is just somewhere where we need to break through. Now, if we do decide to pull back going into the open, you know, just in case we end up having some dips and so forth, I'd love to see us hold up the $14 level. That'll be the most preferable situation, because if we go hold down 14, that's when we can look forward to getting close to that $18 range and going beyond. That'll be the best case, right? Now, as far as if 14 does not hold up, then the next level that I'd want to see, and you know what, it's really not that far off from there, is around the 1380s. So if we pull back going to the 1380s, things are still looking good for OCGN. So I look forward to seeing how well it performs, but for the most part, we ended up having a solid day. So now let's jump into the short interest information. Take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for OCGN. As we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we could see here for November the 2nd, as far as recent filings, we have Cambridge Investment Research Advisors that purchased just over 16,621 shares. And do keep in mind, this is only the filing date, all right? So now we're going to be taking a look at the short interest. For the dark pool short volume ratio, it's at 57.18%. And then for the dark pool short volume, volume being just over 33.5 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 400,000, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 1.80%. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 29th, it was at 57.68, so that was last week Friday, and then for the close yesterday being at 57.18. So again, OCGN continues to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why we've been seeing a lot of volatility inside of the stock. But the great part about it is it gives us some really nice price action for even investors and as well as for traders. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we can see here on the inflow it was 582, and then on the outflow it was 547. So we end up having an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, and keep in mind this is in the millions. On the large we have 10.81, then on the medium we had 421, and then on the small we had 150. When we take a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 8.50, then on the medium it was 399, and then on the small it was 139. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, November the 2nd, it being that inflow of 2,311.4. When we take a look further at the breakdown, we can see on the small we had more buying that was happening on the retail side than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, again, the same thing that we saw on the small. And then when we take into consideration what happened on the large, yes, we had more institutions who were loading up on shares compared to those that were selling out of their positions. And now when we take a look at the turnover ratio, we could see it was at 89.82%. And this is no shock whatsoever. There were a lot of traders who are inside of this play, but also there are many who are continuing to hold on to their shares. I was inside of the Webull comment talking with you guys, dropping my thoughts and so forth, and many of you were excited. The price action was crazy, and due to the fact that it pulls back quite a bit and then comes back and recovers, that's going to bring traders into the play, and that's why we also had above average volume. So now let's go into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, before we get started, let me just go over this quick update with you guys. So we have here Bharat Biotech's covaxin recognized by Guyana for travelers. So again, we have another country that is accepting travelers who are vaccinated with covaxin. This is definitely a good look here, and we know that tomorrow is supposed to be that big day when we get that WHO decision. Of course, a delay could possibly happen, but that is something that we do not want to look forward to because we have been waiting for quite some time. As far as for the price action that we are seeing, it is very clear there's a lot of manipulation going on behind the scenes. We ended up seeing a low of $11.85. Congratulations to those that were able to catch the dip, because as you can see from the price action, how we closed, we still ended up being into that $15 range. So for tomorrow, if we do decide to pull back, then I'm looking forward to seeing some strength at that $14 level. And of course, I want to see us get past the high that we saw today, and I want to see us actually reach around $18. We're able to do this, and if we can get to this level, we can look forward to seeing some all-time highs. Is it going to happen? I would love to see it. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I'm not guaranteeing it, but for the most part, things are continuing to look bullish. Even when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. So this is why when you have buying pressure and a lot of volume coming into the stock, you can see some strong moves to the upside. So for anyone who has been holding shares for quite some time, just like myself, and you're up well over 100%, congratulations. This is what it means when you do your homework and you do your due diligence, you will be rewarded. I remember we used to get a lot of hate, a lot of people coming into the comment section saying this company's a scam. Well, this stock ain't gonna go nowhere. And look where we are. We are crushing it, and now everybody wants to start jumping inside of the play. Of course, if you are going to decide to do that, just make sure that you have a strategy, all right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.